Hi all, Kitamari here. This is part 2 of Draculesti, the demo. So, we have different options here. We can brush up on billiards, look at outdoor areas, look around the ground floor, or see where they took the Englishman. I'm going to see where they took the Englishman. I creep around the ground floor, confident they won't have taken them deeper into the building. The halls are quiet except for the usual creaks and shifts of a place this age. At last, I pass a room with someone inside. I'd expected it to be the girl and her brother, but it's just the girl. She's out cold on the bed. Someone's tucked her in and given her a wet cloth for her fever. Where's her brother, though? Passing the kitchen, I hear Dracula's voice. Frustrating that it's short-dated. We took what we could get. And the suppliers. Hello again. Master Renfield. Here I thought you'd gone to your room. Had a chance to relax yet? Hadn't had a chance to relax yet, maybe? Nico, was it? Or I think he's asking her a question. She outright flinches. Nicoletta. Miss Popescu to you. My apologies, Miss Popescu. Did you want anything in particular from the kitchen? No, I was just looking for that Englishman and thought you might know where he went. They look at each other. Enjoying the princess' hospitality. Yes, he's being entertained by the brides. All of them? I mean to say I'm not sure which. Of your brides? Miss Popescu's lips narrow. Is there a problem? No, I'll leave you both to it. Thank you. Get out. She doesn't mean that. She meant that. She is very frank, and so I make my exit. They resume talking as I walk away. Short dates are such a nuisance. Now we have no choice but to use the lesser cut tonight and the other later. What was I supposed to do? Bring us something edible. Nicoletta. Nico. I give you protection, but I can take it away whenever I like. Everything else, too. What if I take the food you are ungrateful for and your lawyer and drive? What will happen then? I don't know, but neither of us will like it. Nor will Theodora. There's a moment of silence. Then Miss Popescu pushes me into the wall of the corridor as she strides by. I take a moment to recover, rubbing the shoulder she hit. From the corner of my eye, I see Dracula lean out of the kitchen door and leer at her back. Then he's gone. Wow, that was a dramatic thing. Let's look for somewhere to brush up on billiards. I wander around a bit and find all sorts of places, dining rooms, guest rooms, a drawing room, a dance hall. Then I hit the jackpot. A library, spread over multiple rooms and levels with thousands, tens of thousands of books inside. This is incredible. Naturally, I gravitate toward the law section, which is jammed between spirituality and healthcare. Everything is properly cataloged like a real library. Exciting. Pulling out a book on Romanian common law, I stop to read it. Interesting, interesting. I'd never considered that. Oh, what a good idea. Yes. Hey. I slammed the book shut. Jumpy. I thought I was alone. I thought, oh, you're done with that man and his sister? Have they calmed down? They're resting. Looks as though she could use a rest herself. There's no shine in her eyes, just flat, matte exhaustion. I probably shouldn't ask. She's probably the only one who will answer truthfully. Does Dracula really heal people? She flinches. Not really, just a good job faking it. If it's fakery, why does any of the caravan come back? There's other deals he can do. They ask us for favors, he fulfills them. How feudal. Yeah, a feudal lord in the wrong century. Settling into the conversation, she slouches back against the shelves. How he and Theodora like it. What were you gossiping about with her and her stupid girlfriend? Says has been honest with me, best to return the courtesy. You, of course? Of course. She folds her arms over her chest. Someone's got to run people away before they get eaten. But those two think it's fine to be a predatory business as long as it's a family business. I'm getting closer to the truth of this place. Better press the advantage. Predatory how? This castle tears people apart. It's still just a job to you. You think you'll go home in a few days, same as any other assignment, same as ever. Admittedly, it is a creepier assignment than usual. Once he's got you in his castle, though, you're like a fly in a web. And he's the spider. And above him are the birds and the cats and a million higher orders of animal. That's feudalism for you. I try to get people out of the web. When I can't, I try to make being stuck in it painless. Am I in the web? She won't answer. That'll be a yes. How can I possibly follow on from that? I walk back to the legal section and look for the shelf to return my book to. Wait. There are other law books. If you're ever interested. She leads me to the opposite corner, a bookcase with a lockable glass front. Everything inside looks unfathomably old and expensive. Some of them are even bound in unrecognizable materials. Strange leathers and chitins? I'm not familiar with that word. What is this, an occult section? Surprised? Occultic law books. Would you be interested? Or would you be interested? Emphasis on the would. If I get bored, sure, it might be a bit of fun. May I have a key? It's not locked. The door's there to keep the dust out. I reach for the handle, then think better of it. Thank you for showing me. She folds her arms and looks away. Not borrowing any? The work upstairs is urgent. For now, maybe. You think that'll change? If we're unlucky. And I don't know about you, but I'm always unlucky. Unsure how to respond, I give her a little wave. Good evening, says. Pass her the book, and step from the room. Wandering the halls in the vague direction of the tower. A breeze licks the lights through their bulbs. One by one, some phantom's fingertips pinch them out, until the last remaining source of light is a pale emanation through the nearest doorway. A familiar doorway, and I know who's on the other side. Sure enough, when I peer through, I see him. A long-limbed man lounging on the pool table, lips pursed in an impatient smile. The bathroom ghost. So this is the bathroom ghost. He swings his legs over the edge as he turns to face me. Evening. You weren't kidding about billiards. Gesturing at the cues, his smile takes on some warmth. Ready to play? He's the only thing on the felt. Where are the billiards? If I kept you waiting, you could have set the table. I barely know how to do it. Alas, I'm stricken with a tragic touch impairment. Didn't seem like a problem last night. There are brains and nerves inside you for me to stimulate. A table has none of that, however I pose upon it. It will never pay me any mind. To stress the point, he stretches himself out, drawing his trousers tight. Oh, Renfield. I clear my throat and focus on the cues. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Your hallucination? I'm losing it from stress and thirst. Poor drifter, lost in the desert, wondering if the oasis is nothing but a mirage. Don't look at him. In the tower, I must have realized someone used to live there, and started to imagine who he was, where he went. Now I'm having a conversation with myself to decide how worried I should be that I'll meet a similar fate. Dismembered and stashed in a series of undignified hidey holes. Speaking of which, how did you think to check the mirror if it was your own idea? The cracks got my attention. Why billiards now? I glance at him by accident. It's a real... He winks at me. Man's game. I avert my eyes. One last question. Am I who you'd dream of if you could dream of anyone? Not if he keeps heckling me like this. Let's just play. A question he couldn't answer. At last, he hops from the table, full of fresh energy. All right, preparing the game. Think hard. What do we need? I fetch the rack from the wall to start with. Setting it on the mark, I scoop the balls from the pockets and add them to the triangle in a random order. The ghost laughs, hiding his mouth behind his hand for discretion, even though he's too loud to ignore. What? That's not how it goes. Oh. Put a stripe in one lower corner, a solid in the other, and the 8-ball in the middle. I follow his directions. Now I'm paying attention, checking the numbers and designs. I can't help but notice. The 8-ball and the cue ball are lighter than the rest. Not quite hollow, but definitely not solid, full of something lower density than their resin exterior. Curious. Since you've set the table, I'll have first turn. Isn't that convenient for him? I remove the rack and set it back on the wall. Everything is ready, except for the second player. I thumb at the cue holder. Don't you need something? But you're right there. Be a sport and... If you're a ghost and not a hallucination, you can get your own cue, levitate it or something. This is his house. I'm just living in it. Living? Poor choice of words. The point remains, everything here is Dracula's. Without his permission or an offer from his representative, I can't touch any of it. Convenient. No, inconvenient. Beyond your wildest imagination. Offer him a cue. How can we offer him a cue? I lift a cue from the holder and offer it over the table. How often does this ghost get offered a cue? The ghost accepts with a bow of his head. According to him, he should be first. I take my own cue from the rack and turn it in my hand as he adjusts the placement of the cue ball. The ghost inhales, out of habit or a sense of showmanship. Crack! He shoots the middle of a wall for the triangle. The balls ricochet everywhere. The game is afoot. We alternate turns, sinking some shots, missing others. He's confident, taking aim at risky targets, almost pocketing some of my stripes. I'm methodical. I don't have the experience not to be. Though it's scary that 5 turns in, he's on 3 and I'm on 1. How's the scale proceeding? Pardon? I almost misfire. A ghost taking interest in the literal business of the living? It's a shockingly mundane question. The sale papers for Carfax. Why? Just making conversation? He keeps steady. I had a job once. Ordinary duties, ordinary concerns, ordinary physiology. Sure, what were you? Someone's muse? A movie star? A salesman. Who knocked on the wrong door? Didn't I ever? What did you sell? This and that. He puts the cue behind his back and fires a trick shot at the 4-ball. It misses but nudges the 6 closer to a corner pocket. Antiques, books were my specialty, but anything old, rare, and portable. He's holding out on me. With that long pause, the flashy bit cuemanship. There's a lie here, or a lie by omission. A salesman, sure, but I doubt he's one that came here unawares. I sink a straight shot. What does Carfax matter? Someone's dead. If I take your word for it. Should I be prioritizing paperwork over not dying? He barely glances at the 6-ball as he taps it the last 3 inches into the pocket. Doing your job and avoiding your death aren't mutually exclusive. It takes a bit of focus, but I rebound the 11-ball from the wall on one side to the middle pocket on the other. Explain. 4-3, the gap is closing. Dracula isn't planning on killing you. He didn't want to kill me either. If he has a usable piece, he prefers to have it in play, which means that while he believes you're his pawn, I'm safe. Fill out the forms, obey as many rules as possible, be an eager employee and a model house guest. Above all else, his cue dabs the cue ball and sends it on a gentle roll across the width of the table. Do not. It clicks against 14. Mention me to him. 14 shivers on the edge, but it doesn't fall. This is the best opportunity I've had to press him for actual information. Let's see what I've got. I find an angle on the cue ball that'll separate it from the 14 ball. The shot ricochets from the top of the table to the opposite side, though I didn't dare hope it clips the edge of 9 and it sends it into a middle pocket. 4-4. What is there to mention? You haven't so much as introduced yourself. There might be dozens, hundreds of ghosts in a place like this. Unless there's something special about you I should know? He fumbles his next move. I'm not in a position to score, but I noticed somewhere I can move the cue ball that'll make things harder for him. I'm not buying what you're selling, Mr. Ordinary Salesman. He scrambles around the table to try and salvage his turn. Why complicate things? Think of it like cruising. The mystery is a crucial part of the appeal. I can be another nameless man in a bathroom, safety and anonymity. You think I've ever been able to go cruising? Our pace increases. Anonymity can also help keep the past a secret. Name suppression laws, for instance, to prevent the public prying into criminal history. The turns come hard and fast. So what's your name? I don't know. Call me Vlad. 2 of them under one roof? Not likely. This is Romania. The average household has at least 4. What's your real name? What have you been using? Ghost. Ghost is fine. I am one of a kind. Why? He slams a ball from the top left into the bottom right. Ooh, demanding. I launch a ball off the surface and into the air for the briefest moment until it lands in a pocket. Answer the question. We are both at 7 points. He hits the cue ball to the middle of the table. The 8 ball is in line with a pocket, except reaching it will be a stretch. The ghost leans on the edge where I need to stand. An evil smile on his perfect face. Make me. About press him, gesture for him to move. This is interesting. I'm not sure. I can't be certain. Like, which one am I supposed to? Gesture for him to move. I flick my hand sideways. Please move. Why should I? Come on. Ha! Gesturing at the spot like a waiter at a seat, he obliges, never losing that wry expression. I take his place. The middle of the table is aeons from here, out of reach unless... I brace my knee against the edge and lean forward until most of me is atop the felt. But keeping balance and aiming is difficult. My hands can only do so much at once. While I wobble in limbo, I sense a presence behind me. Something cool touches my back. I flinch. Hey, you can't do it alone, I can tell. Lie flat. Since I don't have any better ideas, I obey. The ghost's cold, surprisingly substantial body lowers onto me. His arms fit over mine and our hands intertwine. Aim with the left. Rather than wait for me to follow his instruction, he pulls me along. Drive with the right. Our left hands splay, thumb apart from fingers, and our right hands tighten around the butt of the cue. My muscles tighten. I don't know whether it's from the chill or... Ready? No one's held me this close in years. It's a power play. He wants to show who's in control here, that if I falter, someone will take advantage. The trouble is... Here we go. I think I like it. We strike. The 8 ball sinks. You win. Stealing the cue from my hands, he levers back onto his feet. I remain on the felt and wait for the warmth to return to my spine. My heart's beating so hard it barely takes any time at all. When I've recovered enough, I flip myself around to face him. I could have done it myself. He brings the cues together, laces his fingers, and leans on them. But you weren't prepared to take the initiative and do it. A moment's hesitation can be deadly. You wouldn't move. So, shove me, trip me, hurt me. No. Everyone else in the castle is capable of worse. If we can't rely on your courage, we'll be dependent on mine. Fear flickers across his face at the prospect. Here's an opportunity I really can't afford to miss. I hop onto my feet and snatch my cue out from under him. While he's off balance, I level it at him. Who are you? Why doesn't Dracula want us talking? What kind of help is on offer here? Draping a hand over his features, he sighs. I tried to take something of his. He took everything from me in return. Without my missing pieces, I can never rest. But if a certain handsome someone could reassemble them, he'd gain a powerful ally. Not just an ordinary salesman. An extraordinarily talented salesman. Modest, too. Perish the thought. Do we have a deal, then? Body parts in exchange for phenomenal, hauntological power? If Dracula is planning to kill me, it doesn't hurt to have a counter-strategy. Sure. What else am I going to do around here? Work myself to death? I retract the cue and offer a hand for him to shake. He raises a finger to his lips. Actions speak louder than words. Your prize is over there. Using his cue, he indicates the pocket the cue ball and 8 ball went into. As for our next date, how about Ein klein Nachtmusik? I have no idea. Or klein? Even just me just trying is kind of silly. Figuratively anyway. I'm not a big Mozart fan. Find us a piano and decent tune to play. Let's try a duet. You speak German, yeah? Yeah. There's a particular piece I like. Auf einen Totnacker? I have no idea, and I don't know why I'm trying. His voice resonates as though this mess of old carpets and leisure furniture is a proper concert hall. You can figure it out. I most certainly cannot. I'll try. With that, our night is over. Clear the table, store the cues, flee the scene. Lingering too long in Dracula's personal lounge would be terribly foolish. Isn't the whole castle his? I'm my own man, so are you. La Riviere? Is it La Riviere? I like that, though. I should look that up. La Riviere. I like this ghost, by the way. This ghost is fun. Every light fixture in the room ignites like a star. A blinding, searing, all-consuming flare. When it dims, he's gone. I circle around the table to the pocket he indicated. Nothing inside but the mysterious cue ball and 8-ball. Each now has a fine crack on its exterior like a boiled egg. I dig my nails in, try to open them further, but the resin is too thick to pry apart. Below the surface, though, there's a different substance. A pale, lightweight, mushy substance. Just what are they made of? I do some legal work for a while to make sure I don't fall behind. Midway through the evening, my dinner is delivered by Miss Popescu. Moussaka, with additional vegetables on the side. It's perfect, moist yet firm. Later, the plate is exchanged for chamomile tea and a shockingly dry square of... I know what this is, but I don't know what this is. I have no idea. I pick at them as I go, carefully keeping the vessels across the tabletop from the contracts. The real challenge is making sure I don't drink the inkwell instead of the tea. I can really relate to this guy. At midnight, I find my hands have moved from the food and the paperwork to the billiard balls. I test their weight again and contemplate what they might be made of. The crack still hasn't widened. I could drop them on the staircase. There are, 50 or more steps? Anything that falls down the whole flight should break. It doesn't sound like Dracula's party is anywhere near this part of the castle. I'm not likely to get caught. Oh, why not? Let's try the staircase. This is a terrifying-looking staircase. With both balls on the top stair, I peer into the darkness below. This is some dark souls going down into some basement of a dungeon staircase. Despite assurances, the moonlight doesn't illuminate the steps at all well. Taking a deep breath to calm myself, I push them over the edge. They roll easily and loudly down the steps in view and rebound from the wall around the corner. I can hear them descending the spiral. At a casual walking pace, I follow after them. They lie in the corridor below. The cracks have turned into splits. Resin shells hatch to reveal what's inside. A pupil stares at me from inside the cue ball. That would mean it's a pair of eyes. Eyes added to inventory. To protect them from any damage, I close the shells back around them before putting them in my pockets. Out of sight, but not out of mind. It makes my skin crawl to think of what's been done to him, over and over asking why? How does this benefit anyone? What kind of anger drives someone to do this? I linger in the hall longer than I should, lost in thought. Just as I turn to head upstairs, there's a scream. Ah! Oh no, it's okay. It's okay, monkey. That's my cat monkey. What was that? It sounded like the Englishman's sister. Dracula's performing his faith healer ritual then. And she's screaming more. If he is, it isn't working. There's also the possibility her medication wore off. Whichever it is, I can't ignore someone in this sort of distress. It's too awful to think about, too awful to reminisce about. A building full of people and no one coming to help because they take your pain as a given. I really like the writing yet again. I've got to help, regardless of any half-remembered directive from Dracula, or any half-remembered warning from Theodora. I begin to run. The intervals between the screams grow shorter, but the screams grow weaker. It's hard to tell where to turn. I'd intended to use the volume as a guide, but that's not possible. Where is she? Where? Not the guest room. Not the parlor. Nor any of the dozens of other doors I pass. Is there some kind of infirmary I missed? But if there were, why wouldn't they have put her in it earlier? Think, Renfield, think. Ah! Sorry, monkey. Oh, monkey went jolted a little. I don't have to think, I can hear. Terribly close. Through the open doors to the great hall. Despite Dracula's claim he'd host a party there, just 4 people in the room. The 5th is already dead. Oh my gosh. Oh, what have we done? He stands in the middle of the cluster, the girl's body slumped in his arms. Gosh, the art is beautiful. I didn't even say that yet today. It is, though. It's interesting. The brides flank him, clutching a shoulder or a thigh each. Theodora remains concentrated on her meal. Says adjusts the shoulder to hide behind it. Ileana spits as she makes eye contact. All of them are biting the girl. Oh goodness, I just called it beautiful, and it's actually a grotesque scene. Dracula her jugular. Theodora and says her wrists. Ileana has torn through to the thick veins in her leg. They see me and stare, but none of them can wrest themselves from their prey. Even Dracula, proud and regal, lets his composure lose out to his thirst. I'm locked in place too, from fear. There's too much wrong in this building to be wholly surprised, but knowing there's a wolf in the woods doesn't prepare you to face it. Rather than let this awful moment continue, I open my stupid mouth to ask the stupidest question I've ever thought of. Is she okay? Like a dog caught with a chicken from the coop. Dracula blinks slowly, his pupils focusing and his jaws unclamping from her neck. His goatee is dyed solid red with her blood. There's a moment of wordless trembling before his mouth is able to form words. Renfield? Pet? No. She's dead. Then I find a way to make it worse. Why? Because the house has needs. And the master must provide. Releasing his grip on her torso, he drops her into the bride's arms, where they're able to bite and gnaw even more ferociously. Compared to them, his animalism is restrained. They have focus and shame and spite, but nothing else. No instinct to stop before the well runs dry. He realizes he won't have my attention while the body and the bride's are in view. Rather than step around them, he dissipates into pitch-black smoke and surges through the group, coalescing in front of me. For a moment after he reforms his eyes, have that awful hollow look again, and his features are contorted. I don't know if I'm capable of saying this sentence correctly. He extends a hand to me. Not to worry. Your fate will be different. Oh my goodness. Oh my. We hope you enjoyed this taste of Draculesti. Thanks for playing. It'll help us out if you wishlist the game on Steam, and perhaps you'd be interested in our newsletter. And those are places I could have clicked, I assume. Ooh, and we have a new opening. Ooh, very interesting. A new opening scene here. Wow, that was very good. That was very immersive. I like that I got to get to know the ghost. I was sort of set on a path in a sense because of my earlier choice, right? Otherwise, I might have gotten to know Dracula a bit better, and then that plot twist like moment at the end. I mean, I don't know how much of a plot twist it is. Everybody knows who and what Dracula is, but like, I like that. I like the art, obviously. The animations, the way that animations are integrated into the art, giving a sense of the CGs, you know, kind of being moving, like a moving painting. I think that this is so good. This is so impressive, and I'm so glad I was able as well to finish it, and that if I wanted to replay it again, this demo, and make different choices, I'm probably going to end up talking to different characters and getting to know other characters a bit better, and possibly seeing, no, more than possibly, absolutely seeing different outcomes and different just events and sequences and interactions. And yeah, this is very impressive. It's not every day that a visual novel like this is in production or comes out, or, you know, is anywhere at all. It really it's really special. It's very special. In fact, I was thinking I might put some links to other visual novels as I play them that are sort of within this very niche genre, because I don't know, I want to kind of draw attention to them. Like, someday I want to do the House of Fata Morgana series, and that would definitely be put in the description, because I like the idea of haunted houses, kind of gothic, mysterious horror, and this shows every sign of being a very high quality piece. So thank you for being here with me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me do my my sort of audiobook like voiceover, you know, amateurish, just for funsies. This has been a treat. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Thanks for everything. Links in the description, and bye.